So I imagine YouTube as any other business where you have to innovate. You have to provide some sort of content that isn't being provided to the marketplace already.
So you've spent 6 years of your life attempting to grow a profitable business on the widely used social media platform, used by billions of people regularly, but nothing has seemed to have worked. And after tedious research and having read a particular book that has dilated your neurons to new creative possibilities, it was time for something new. Something revolutionary. Something that will forever change the informative essay writing genre on YouTube. But hold on, how did we get here in the first place? Jake Tran was born in Saigon, Vietnam, but shortly moved to the USA at the age of 2 as it was his parents' ambition to seek a better quality of life. This although didn't make things easier for Jake, as he recalls his parents taking him and his sister to McDonald's, bringing in their very own ice cooler and soda, whilst also having to order off the dollar menu to save money.
But all I ever knew was poverty. I remember my parents would take me and my older sister to McDonald's, but to save money, we would bring in an ice cooler with our own soda, and me and my sister would split a burger on the dollar menu to save money.
In addition to Jake's parents' frugal attempts to save money, such as cancelling cable, which left him unable to watch his favourite shows on TV, this is also where Jake's future was altered forever, as he was left with no other source of content but the internet. And this was where he discovered the platform that would eventually go on to change the course of his life drastically, even though that wasn't apparent at the time. Jake has also come forward stating that he was frequently picked on when he was younger, which resulted in him being involved in 3 fights, winning 1. These experiences combined with being labelled an outcast set the stage for his future success on YouTube. As a result, his parents put him forward for taekwondo in an attempt to get him out of any more trouble, which in the grand scheme of things turned out as an excellent choice, as Jake rapidly progressed within the newly found sport and began to compete around the country, going on to become an instructor during high school, allowing him to improve his explanation skills by his attempts to explain complex topics in a simpler and more digestible fashion for the trainees, a skill that would help him set himself apart from the competition. And so his fondness of taekwondo, coupled with the intense fascination of YouTube, made him create his very first YouTube channel, as being intrigued by the likes of YouTube stars such as Marcus Brownlee and Linus Tech Tips, whose video styles later were shown to coincide with Jake's. But this was only the beginning. Young Jake was to face many more obstacles thrown his way, including his first YouTube channel disappointing due to not performing as well as he had anticipated. The channel, whilst operating, brought in approximately $200 every 3 months solely from YouTube AdSense, and compared to the amount of time and effort Jake was putting in, the exchange didn't seem worthwhile, and so his motivation fell, coupled with the fact that he was soon starting college, completely extinguished his burning passion for the meanwhile. And so after dedicating hundreds of hours to the educational system, he graduated 11th in his high school, a rather substantial achievement, going on to study computer science at his community college, soon landing his dream job after his second year, compensating a whopping $40 an hour, a wage far from unsatisfactory for his youthful age. But shortly the novelty of the web development job began to erode, and Jake was yet again discontent. This was his green light. Never before did he have a better opportunity to give YouTube another shot. It was now or never. He had 2 choices: drop everything the traditional educational system provided him with, or take the risk and chase his heart, with exponential returns. Jake took the leap and decided to try his hand at YouTube again. He believed that copying the style and format of his favorite YouTubers, like Graham Stephan, would bring him similar levels of success. While this strategy did bring him some views, it wasn't enough, and taught him a priceless lesson, and one that would go on to flip his financial situation upside down with his second roll of the dice. And the way he managed to propel himself into internet fame was part to having read a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. This single-handedly gave him the insight into how successful businesses thrive in different competitive environments, which made him apply the same concept to YouTube, unsurprisingly working in his favor. The book itself demonstrates how you can enter any crowded market that has a ton of competition, which is called a red ocean, full of blood from everyone fighting over the same food, and shows you how to carve carve out your own blue ocean with zero competition, and you being the only option for new customers to flock to, gaining insurmountable traction as a result. And the way he implemented this idea was by looking at the two niches that he watched the most, the first being the make money niche and the second the infotainment niche. He then outweighed their factors and changed them accordingly to his liking. For example, the incorporation of movie scenes and humor, uncommon in the general edutainment and finance style of content, but completely prevalent in his, allowing him to differentiate himself, solidifying himself, which resulted in upward growth. With gaining insurmountable viewership, it was inevitable Jake received criticism from the business opportunities he embarked on, one of the most prominent issues being him outsourcing content, where viewers feel a disconnect between Jake and his brand, as the two seem to be dispersing, as some find his nostalgic style of content diminishing due to the employment of voice actors and editors, and also the implementation of clickbaity titles. But I simply think that's the inevitable step someone is to take when attempting to scale their brand. I mean, what else could Jake possibly do? There's no other possible way of growing larger, simply by employing solely yourself. There's an inherent cap to the amount of content one Jake Tran can physically produce. So I would see the reason why he'd do something like this. And oh boy, Jake's been detected by the CoffeeZilla radar. Sorry officer, nothing to see here. And for those who don't know, CoffeeZilla made a couple videos regarding Jake's rather suspicious sponsors. Now I'd suggest you guys check out CoffeeZilla's take on all of this, but here's the rundown. Jake usually makes videos exposing scams, but then there have been instances where he implemented the same tactics used by the scams to pitch you a sponsor. Rather hypocritical, don't you think? For instance, he made a video documenting the fraudulent nature of lotteries, but then presented a lottery ad within the same exact video. And another example being when he had a crypto trading bot sponsor on a video talking about how crypto bots are the new tempting way to get people to give you their money. Then on another video detailing the workings of a Ponzi scheme, but then continuing to advertise an NFT project at the end of the video. And for those who aren't aware, Bloomberg themselves published an article talking about how NFTs are virtually Ponzi schemes. But to accredit Jake for the meanwhile, that actual NFT project never ended up launching in the first place, although he surely did make another video documenting the quote evil business of NFTs, simply talking about the dangers of rug pulls and detailing reasons to avoid them in the first place, but then going on to promote one. Now it could be argued that Jake didn't intend for his investors to lose money following the NFT and crypto crash, as it was unprecedented, but he's also shown describing NFTs as hype trains.
And the hottest niche in crypto right now is flipping NFTs, where people are making life-changing money just from getting on an NFT hype early on, buying and then selling soon after for insane amounts of money. And one way to do it is to look at what crypto whales are buying,
as that's what he believes is the inevitable outcome of any NFT project to begin with. Then why would he go on to pitch his very own NFT project to his audience, knowing the truth behind them? It seems a little bit sketchy if you ask me. And make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, as I'm curious to what you guys think. Jake also responded to CoffeeZilla's accusations through a rather remorseless manner, arguing that it's these sponsors that help contribute to the creation of his videos. But do you guys think this is a justifiable excuse? Personally, I think there's a moral obligation to not integrate promotions into videos that condemn the exact same thing that's being promoted. That's like telling a bunch of people that fast food is bad, but then going on to offer them more fast food, as it's pretty safe to say Jake didn't want this to happen and possibly didn't intend to, but that's up for debate, since he knows his revenue and profitability coming from his channel is linked to his brand, and so I don't think he would want to damage that reputation that he has built over the years. But on the flip side, he's still gaining insurmountable views each month, although witnessing a drop in monthly subscribers due to the several videos being made criticizing him. Some say he knows the game and he's playing it, and when you reach a level of popularity, almost everything you do is criticized, which in a sense makes a fair point. At the end of the day, Jake has to put food on the table, but where do we draw the line? Doesn't he already make enough from the immense popularity of his YouTube channel, or does he simply use this to excuse his shady business practices he so talks about in his videos? That's up for debate, but that's not to say that he has drifted away from his aim, as he's still continuing to push out multiple videos weekly regarding interesting topics that his fans will continue to watch.